What was the moment you finally gave up on someone? For me, it was an ex who broke up with me at 3 a.m. on a night out, then the week later, before having a chance to clear the air, was all over someone else in front of me, touching, kissing, and then eventually going home with them. It was the moment I realized I deserved more respect than that. I deserved to be treated better. Coming home unannounced for lunch, catching my partner cheating. Done. Best thing to ever happen to me. Sure was hard at the time, but I'm so much better off. Living a mother trucker dream tbh. I was always honest and straightforward with my ex-wife about wanting kids. She, on the other hand, kept saying that she did want kids, just not yet. Her favorite line was, "In 2 years we can start trying," and when the time came near she would have a list of excuses of why she's not ready. One day we had a really ugly argument and barely spoke to each other for about a month. We made up while on vacation, and after a few days I said to her, "We really should have a conversation about starting a family." She replied with, "I agree, but honestly I can't picture having kids soon because," and giving some reason I haven't heard until that moment. Right there and then I accepted that my marriage was over. Of course there was a lot more involved, but that was amongst the main reasons for me leaving. 2 years later, after 11 years together, I am happily divorced, single, and coming to terms about being the greatest uncle the world has ever seen, when I realized I had feelings for the guy the first was sleeping with and told him. He kept stringing me along, letting me think we were friends and had a possible future. As time went on I realized this wasn't going to happen. My friend and I were looking on a dating site for her and we came across him. I decided to let go and let him find what he's really looking for. And because I deserve what I want too. Our sister-in-law acts charming, but is phony and manipulative, plus uses any opportunity she can to play the victim. I rolled with it for years, hoping things would get better. Then she had kids and got even worse. When our kids were at the cute age, she was dying to babysit and kept offering, but didn't want us to babysit hers. We had been dating for 4+ years, engaged for about 2, waiting on her kids to finish high school. She called one night and said, "I don't love you and never have. I'm not going to marry you and never intended to, but you can still take me out on the weekends if you want." I booed right the fuck out of that. 6 months later met my now wife of 21 years. When after years of being her emotional punching bag while trying everything I could to improve things, my children came to me, saying their mother had been screaming incoherently at them, and they were scared of her, and upon telling her as gently, but firmly, as possible that she needed get help, she spent a good 20 minutes screaming at me that it was all actually me, that I was at fault, and that I was a horrible person, and I felt it all just break. We had a fling at 18. After that she started sending me a message every approximately 5 to 6 months for the next 20 years. She'd always ask me something about my life but never get back to me after my answer. Finally I decided to unfriend and block her on FB. We broke up because she had zero communication skills and she never developed them in her adult life. I had a friend and roommate who just kept lying. He exaggerated all his stories, it was always someone else's fault, and sometimes he'd just lie about what he was going to do over the weekend. It is not worth the time to unravel it all, and it got to a point where my gut reaction was to disbelieve everything they said. That's not a friend.